Well, welcome in once again, everybody, to another stunning edition of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers, and we got a great show for you today. We got a good friend back on who is making a lot of news, and we finally got some good weather here in Las Vegas where we're able to get out and play golf. I'm supposed to play on Sunday, keeping my fingers crossed that no wind, no rain, no nothing, but it looks pretty good. So we hope that wherever you're tuning in from, you've got good weather, you're getting out, and you are playing some golf. We've got the Genesis tournament, Tiger Woods tournament, been going on for a long time out at Riviera, which is a wonderful golf club, Pacific Palisades in Southern California. And I've been fortunate enough to play the course many times, and it is a really, really good facility. Unfortunately, Tiger's not playing very well, but are you supposed to play well in your own event? I always heard you're not supposed to win your own event, but sometimes that does happen. So we're going to be talking about Tiger with our guest today. He's got a very special connection. So let me tell you about our guest, Mr. Larry Klayman, who's returning to the show. We like having him on. Larry is a litigation attorney that focuses on ethics and legal standards. Larry is a former U.S. Justice Department prosecutor. He founded both Judicial Watch and Freedom Watch, which you're probably familiar with. Larry is heavily involved in litigation between the PGA Tour and the LIV Tour. You certainly know about that or heard about that. And there's a lot going on in that area. And he's been heavily involved on both sides. He represents one of the LIV players, Patrick Reed, in some defamation lawsuits that have been brought, and rightfully so, because Patrick is a great guy, his family is great, and he's getting treated very harshly and very unfairly. So we're going to see where all of that ends up. So anyway, without further ado, let's bring on our good friend, Mr. Larry Klayman. Larry, welcome to the show. I forgot to mention that you're also an author, and you've got two books out that I want to talk about. Also. So anyway, I want to start off and ask you, there's so much going on back and forth between the PGA Tour, Commissioner Monahan, and now this sports group, quote unquote, has given the tour $3 billion. And how do you think that is going to change the dynamic, if any, Larry, of the tour? What are they going to do with all that money?
That's a great question. Let me just say this too. I don't speak for LIV. Obviously, I represent Patrick Reed in his private capacity, and I have my own lawsuit I brought as a plaintiff, a lead plaintiff, in Palm Beach, Florida, for golf fans against, of course, the PGA Tour, Jay Monahan, and there were other defendants as well that were involved at one time.
Right.
The court has ordered that I can take the depositions of Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. I've already deposed Davis Love III. All of these people were intimately involved in the anti-competitive conduct to try to kill LIV at its inception, and Tiger was no exception.
To that, you're right.
Despite the fact that what's going on right now, the way I see it, is that the PGA Tour thinks that it's putting pressure on LIV to come to the table and to bow down to it by virtue of the $3 billion they got from the sports group, primarily centered out of Boston. But I think what they fail to take into account, and again, I don't speak for LIV, I'm looking at the outside here, is the fact that what they did to LIV and its players, including Patrick Reed, for the first 2 years, disparaging them, calling them takers of blood money, cavorting with terrorists. And they were working with Golf Channel, and there's an article out today about, the worth of these contracts that the PGA Tour has with NBC, CBS, ESPN. They all collaborate. That's what it was about. It was an attempt to monopolize and to destroy Live
Right.
by destroying its players. And they also went after Yasser. Uh, I always mispronounce his name. The head of the PIF, a very fine man. I've met him. And they disparage him. They disparage the prince of Saudi Arabia. I got to tell you, I don't think, despite the fact that the PIF PGA Tour, and you can see that with regard to John Rahm coming over recently. I mean,
Right.
whatever you say, John Rahm is a better player than Scotty Scheffler. He should have been the most valuable player of the year. The only reason he wasn't voted that is because of the reaction of those who were voting on the PGA Tour. But Scheffler's a great player, of course. Can't make a putt, but he's a great player. John Rahm knows how to make putts under pressure. In fact, he won 3 times last year. Maybe it was
Right.
4,
Yeah. Yeah.
including the Masters.
I just think, Larry, that
Is
the tour and all of the executives probably are still in shock that he jumped. He went over to Live and left the PGA Tour. That's probably why Scheffler got, Player of the Year or whatever. They're probably
Right.
still in shock that he did that.
And after that, Terrell Hatton went over, and then
Right.
Adrian Meronk, who basically got screwed, by the Ryder Cup. He designated against is that there's no desire on Liv's part to bow down to the PGA Tour. There really isn't.
No.
And the players, although they've been publishing these articles that try to create, continued defamation and false light, is that the players love Liv. They don't want to jump and go back to the PGA Tour. They don't even want to go back.
Right.
Why would you want to go back? A, you're making better money.
Right.
B, if they want to be, can play the Masters if he does well there this year. He'll be playing the other majors as well as happened last year, even though they've shut him out.
Yeah. 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 And he is a former Masters winner, of course. Larry, we're having a little bit of problem with your volume. You're breaking up a little bit and freezing, and I'm wondering whether you've got a good connection or not. I know we've never had that problem in the past, but any way you could check that?
I do have high-speed internet here. It should even be better than in the past. Am I coming through well now?
Yeah, I mean, you sound great, but after a while, you just kind of freeze and we lose the audio on you. And I hate to do that.
Yeah. Well, let's keep trying. Okay, let's see what happens.
Oh,
'Cause
absolutely.
I'm in the office by myself right now, and I have no technological help. So
Yeah,
we're gonna make it work.
we will. You were supposed to have deposed Tiger Woods, taken his deposition a little while ago, and you're doing Rory McIlroy, I believe, sometime next month. But Tiger's deposition got postponed again. What happened there? I know you were looking so forward to it.
Yeah. Can you hear me now, Dennis?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a question of that. The lawyers that represent, and this is an interesting tidbit, for lack of a better word, the lawyers who represent Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy and have opposed Davis Love already. I don't believe he was very truthful at his deposition, so he's going to be brought back.
Okay.
He died in memory because I've ultimately involved in trying to kill Liv and to kill it in its inception to maintain the monopoly for the PGA Tour. But the lawyers who represent Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy and Love are the same lawyers who represented this woman, E. Jean Carroll, who remembered.
That's unbelievable. Yeah.
40 years later,
Right.
and the local council, David Marcus, represented Hillary Clinton in the RICO case, the racketeering case that Trump had brought, which was dismissed by a Clinton-appointed judge. No surprise, a terrible judge by the name of Donald Middlebrook. So I write about in my book, It Takes a Counter-Revolution, Wake Up America. But it shows you the ties of the PGA Tour and Jay Monahan to the Democratic Party. The case, in some way, my case in Palm Beach, has become Biden versus Trump in many ways with these lawyers.
Yeah.
And these lawyers did everything they could to try to keep Tiger Woods from being. My client had been smeared in court. Judge had to tell them to cool it, that he wouldn't tolerate that. After they lost at the lower court, they went to the appellate court. They got shot down there. So I walk into the deposition about a week ago, really decided by a judge, because there's a class action. So the judge says, I just want to defer until I take a look at this class action.
Okay. Yeah.
Issue to represent the class, and I represent myself. I guess you can say I got no class, at this point in time.
No, you're a very classy guy. I'm surprised the judge
I'm
said
taking
that.
a line.
Yeah.
I'm taking a line from Rodney
Yeah.
Dangerfield
Yeah.
in Back to School when he asks Sally Kellerman out. He says, you want to have dinner tonight? She says, no, I got class. She was a teacher. He says, what about tomorrow night? She says, I got class. He says, well, call me when you got no class. But the judge is wrong here. He's wrong here. I like the judge. I respect him, and he's a good judge. But he doesn't have a lot of time to read frequently. And but we'll be taking Tigers, and we'll be taking Rory's, and we'll be taking the deposition of Patrick Cantlay and Paul. I mean, they're directors of the PGA Tour, and they're all working hard now to do a number on Live. So they're going to be deposed.
All right, I'll tell you what, Larry, let's stay right there. Don't move. I'm not moving. Let's take a short break. And when we come back, we will have a lot more with our special guest, Larry Klayman. We'll try to get this audio issue resolved. Hopefully we can do it. So we're going to go to break right now. So stay with us. We are back with more right after this. The revolutionary Power to Golf Club requires no swing to hit golf shots from 50 up to 225 yards. That's right, no swing. It's empowering golfers with physical issues to continue enjoying time golfing with friends and family. With just the push of a button, the easy-to-use Power to Golf Club launches shots down the fairway and onto the green. Whether a physical issue or just want to join in on the fun, the Power to Golf Club is for you. Visit online, powergolfclub.com. One of the perks about being in golf media is that I get to try every club ever made. Of course, like most things, some are better than others. I'm here to tell you that I have found unquestionably the absolute best performing set of irons I have ever played, and my scores show it. Let me introduce you to Grindworks, custom fitted irons that are made to fit your game. Grindworks offers players 3 different styles of irons. You can choose muscleback irons, cavity back irons, and even blades, along with some awesome wedges. And when you purchase your clubs, Grindworks lets you choose the type of shaft you want, the type grip you prefer, and even will adjust the loft and lie of your clubs if needed. That's unheard of. So what are you waiting for? Feel the power and experience and performance of these amazing clubs. Simply go to grindworksusa.com or call 281-651-4046 to order. Trust me, your handicap will love you for it.